This is Jazzy at Myers. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the Regalia. This is also good to know if you own a Coronet and other mid-arm or long-arm baby lock machines. So what we're going to do today is we're going to learn how to change a needle correctly. We're going to learn how to oil correctly and what you can do to keep your maintenance up on a regular basis. First thing I'm going to do is take off the needle, or take out the needle.
What class are you taking?
And use your Allen wrench to take off, in our case, the glide foot.
Yes. So if it's a quilting class, it's usually 20%
Okay?
Yes.
Once you do that, you're going to take out your bobbin. There happens to be a bobbin in here. I'll just take that out too. Okay? And now we need to take off your plate. Don't drop the screwdriver. Alright, so next. Thank you. Alright. You want to take, it's not a wire brush, it's a nylon brush. We sell these at the store, and they're nice. Some of them have just the bristles, the other has like a brush, like a bottle brush with smaller on the other end. And we have both of those. So what you want to do to start off with is you want to really clean this. Clean it out inside. Clean where the bobbin is. All right. Now, whenever we clean the Regalia after using it, I don't necessarily take the plate off, but on occasion we will take it off to make sure we get all the dust that's kind of stuck between the plate and your hook, which is where your bobbin goes. Now, oiling it, pretty easy. We want to make sure that you use clear silicone sewing machine oil. We sell this in this type of bottle, so it drips down. You can see it'll come down and it drips. So it's just a spot. When you oil, you want to put it in the arc here or right in here. And we'll show you that close up in a second. After that, you want to use your up-down needle and move this around so it's lubricating the entire hook. So when you're turning and you see some dust, you can stop it, just clean it out. Okay. When you do this, we advise that you oil your bobbin hook every time you change a bobbin. So if you're doing a large quilt and you go to bobbin 2, oil it. Brush it out, clean all that dust out of there, and oil it. If you're not using your Regalia on a regular basis, then we ask you the best way to do is to oil it prior to using it if it's been sitting for a few weeks. I'd rather have a little bit too much oil. Can you put too much oil? Yes. You would find it down at the bottom. This has absolutely no oil on it. And when I'm talking about oiling, I'm literally talking about 1 drop of oil. Not squishing or big drops, just 1 little drop. when you're oiling these pieces here, this is something you can do occasionally. We don't do it often. 1 drop on your finger, that's it. And then you kind of want to just rub it around. You can drop it so then you have a little bit more there. You don't want drips. When you're doing the top piece, same thing, just at the top. You don't need to go all the way down if you don't want to. I'm going to wipe my finger on here. All right, let's put the needle back up. All right. You can check your plate for little cuts and burrs. You would see them and feel them here. If you have a burr on it, it can cause your thread cutting and pulling and shredding. So if that's happening with your Regalia, check to see if there's any little cuts and burrs right around your plate. Usually that is caused by breaking needles, and that does happen. Let's put this guy back together. And I'll be right back. So we're back. I put the plate back on, made sure the screws were nice and tight. I also put this particular glide foot back on, made sure it was tight, but not overly tight because I don't want to strip the screw with the Allen wrench, which is possible, so be gentle. But still tight enough so it stays on. All right, when you're putting the needle in, we're gonna put a size 18 in. Your needle, and we'll get a close-up of this, if you were to lay this out on a table, it just rolls. There is no flat back on the Regalia style needles. So you have to know which way to put the needle in. There is a scarf on the back, and it's an indentation. You can actually feel it. If your vision's not fabulous, you can actually feel it. You can see where it goes in. That back of the scarf needs to go in the back. So find it with your finger and then push it in the back. What we do here is I insert it up, make sure the scarf is in the back, the opening. I'm going to put my pin, I just use a regular long arm pin, put it inside the hole where the thread goes, and I'm going to lift up and keep the needle nice and straight. I don't want to point it too far either way. I kind of want to line it up with the front piece. Once I have that, I want to tighten the screw with my hand. And then because I do not have strong hands and strong fingers, I'm going to tighten this up just a little bit. The regular screw on a Regalia and a Coronet is usually a this type of screw with the Allen wrench mark on it. Ours needs to be repaired, so we've got a regular screw. We kind of Mickey Mouse it, but it still works.
Hi, I'm Mary Ann, and I would like to talk to you a little bit about the tension that we have regarding the Regalia and issues that you may come up with and you need help with. I recommend, and I think it's good practice, that before you ever start a quilt, that you should also check your tension and just get you a scrap of material and put it to your 4 or 5 inches that you have on your left or right side and test your tension, because you absolutely don't want to sew 2 or 3 lines and then see your tension and then just have a big old mess in the back. So the first thing you should always do is check your bobbin. Your bobbin is your start to whatever kind of tension you might have. So I've already worked with the bobbin, and I'm going to go ahead, and we want to go to the right side of the machine, and I'm going to show you the bobbin at the end of the video. I want to go to the right side of the machine. I want to show you the tension on the side, which is the upper tension, because when you have the upper tension pulling through the bottom, it might be too loose and the bobbin is pulling it through. If it's too tight, then we may need to loosen it. And so if you give me just a sec, I will be right back and we'll show you that right side of the machine. Hi, so we're back now. So on the right side of the machine, this is our tension for the upper tension. And on this little knob, there is a little black dot. And this is what we're going to use to adjust the tension to see if we need to go tighter or looser. I did do a sample down here, and when I did the sample, I see that there is some red. The top stitch is coming through. And when there's a top stitch coming through, yes, it could be the bobbin, but it could be also that the top thread is too loose and the bobbin is sucking it down into the material. So what you want to look for is that nothing is showing on the top, the bottom isn't showing on the top, and the top isn't showing on the bottom. You want it locked into your material, your quilt, like this. So what we're going to do, since I do see a little bit of red, I'm going to head and I'm going to tighten it. And righty-tighty, lefty-loosey is how we always remember this. And we're only going to go in 15-minute increments. So this right now, the little knob is at the bottom. I'm going to turn it towards me, which is clockwise. I'm going to turn it about 15 minutes. Okay, so now we're going to give it a test and see how it looks. Here's my bobbin thread. I'll do a tap down. It looks really good on top. So we're going to see how the bottom looks. So let's needle up, pull this away. And we're always pulling this out because it has a tendency to bend the needle if you don't pull some extra thread out. And then we'll go back and we'll get our bobbin here. And we'll cut it off. Let's see what we got here. And sometimes too, tensions can have a lot to do with the material that you're using, the batting that you're using, the thread that you may be using. So it may not always just be the machine, so it could be a lot. So there's still some red coming through here. So I'm going to go one more time, another 15, and see what we get. So I'm going to put it up to 12 o'clock. And you don't want to get it too tight, because then if you start getting it too tight, then you're going to start having breaking issues with the thread. So let's see what we have here. Let me go down here. Oops, there it is. See what we have. Okay, needle up, pull the thread, get my bobbin. Alrighty. Okay, let's see what we have. So that is starting to look a whole lot better. You can see where there's no red showing in here, just a few spots here. There's no red showing in here. I might go maybe not 15 more minutes, but I think I might go halfway between and see what our tension looks like then. So let's go one more time. So I'm going to take it, and it's right here, and I'm just going to move it halfway point. I'm not going to even go to the full 15-minute mark. Let's see what we get. Down. Okay. The top still looks good, so that's great. Oop, what's going on? Hang on a sec. Didn't want to work with me there. Not sure what happened there, but we'll take a look at the tension. Didn't get my bobbin thread up there, but that's okay. That's probably still connected on the back here, which it is. So let's just cut that off so we don't have any issues. Okay, so I'm really pleased with this. If this was me doing my quilt and I'm seeing this, I'm seeing a lot of the white and not so much of the top thread. I'm seeing the bobbin thread, and that's what we want to see. Now if you have cotton, so when you have a few here, the cotton's going to wash and it's going to shrink, so you won't see that because it'll pull it up into the material. So I would say I would be very satisfied with that. Hi, so we're back, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what I did on the bobbin. And this is where you always want to start, like I had told you previously, because your bobbin is the start of your tension. So I put it in my hand, and if the thread were to pull really easy, then my bobbin is too loose. If I were to pick it up and hold it up here and my bobbin and case and everything came up with it, that is too tight. So what you want to do is you want to lay it flat, let it rest, and then bring it up. And if this is what it's doing, this is perfect. If for some reason it's not and you're having it come clear up there, remember, up in the air it is too tight, so you need to loosen it. So lefty loosey, righty tighty. So what you would do is, there's the big screw right here, not the small screw. This would take the whole assembly off. So you want to do the big screw, and all you want to do is just barely give it a turn, just barely, and then give it a try again and see where you're at. And you may have to do it a couple of times. So if you have any problems or you have any questions, feel free to call Myers Sewing or go on the website and email them, and we will help you out. Thank you.